whacked him across the face, like, hard. Like,
Good.
like, yeah!
And we have it here, folks. I officially endorse violence.
I know. That I felt it too.
Only if it's cathartic. Nerds. I love it.
Clap. Okay, all right. Today we are talking about Boy. It's a 2010 movie, filmed and set in New Zealand, directed by Taika Waititi. It's about an 11-year-old Maori boy who is living with his cousins and younger brother and grandmother. His grandmother's taking care of him. Neither of his parents are in the picture, but he has vivid memories and high-minded ideas of his dad. He has basically fantasies of what a cool guy his dad is or was. And early in the movie, the grandmother leaves him in charge of his younger cousins, and his dad shows back up the house. And so the movie is about Boy. He's just called Boy in the movie. Getting to know his dad and showing what happens in their relationship. So this is my pick. I picked this movie. I picked it because I'm completely on the Taika train. Like whatever Taika Waititi makes, I will watch. This movie's been on my watch list for a little while, and I hadn't seen it. I've watched several of his other movies in the interim. Really enjoyed every one of them. So I was really excited for the opportunity to watch this one, and really want to hear what you all thought about this.
I enjoyed it. I don't know if I can say I'm a big Taika Waititi fan. Because I haven't seen a ton of his stuff, but I have loved what I see. I actually have this. He worked a lot with Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
And I hate them. Sorry.
I've seen like maybe 3 episodes or something way back when, like well before I was maybe ready for that kind of humor or something. I didn't love it either.
Yeah, no, my brother and sister were really into it, and they like played it all the time. My brother had CDs, and he played the songs, and I'm sure that they're very funny and very valid, but it's just like that overdose just completely turned me off of them. And so I knew he was associated with them to kind of peripherally. And I was just not interested, but he is just a delightful person, and I really enjoyed this movie.
I love him as an actor, which surprised me. Actually, this movie solidified how much I can appreciate him as an actor and as a director. Yeah. And also how talented that he has directed and produced and acted in so many films, as in, it wasn't just like a offshoot that he did this one as all those different roles, but Jojo Rabbit, wasn't he a big integral part of that one? I feel like I remember. And it was... He
wrote, directed, and acted in it.
Exactly.
He starred as Adolf Hitler.
And he's just very impressive. And so, yeah, like I'm on the... What did you call it?
The Taika train. Yeah.
Taika train. Woo woo. Woo woo. But I'm on board, and I really enjoyed this movie. Though I don't know. It was a weird movie in sensorily. For me, where it was like I enjoyed it, and then like there was nothing really that I grabbed onto that I was like, I love this, or like that part or whatever, but I just love the whole thing. And I think anybody who speaks in a New Zealand accent, I'm like in love, like kid, adult, doesn't matter. It's awesome. So I really enjoyed it.
Don't be an egg, Sue. That's what I'm trying to do. A New Zealand accent.
Hey,
Sue, you egg.
Yeah,
You egg.
Yeah, egg. I super loved it too. I can hear what you're saying about the senses. There were lots of moments for me where Boy is somehow like telling a story, and you see like Taika Waititi dancing like Michael Jackson or whatever. There's some like fantastical scene that happens, which I love throughout the movie. But yeah, when I think about like trying to summarize what happened, or like you were saying, grasp onto something, it's challenging. I loved it. And then it's like, I don't know too much of what to say about it, but I super enjoyed it.
I'm with you guys on that too. Like Rach can attest to this. Like 2/3 of the way through the movie, I am just like weeping, like just tears streaming down my face. I mean, it got me good. And it's, you know, it's a funny movie. It's like there are hilarious moments in it. But there's also such a poignancy in it, that it was, I don't want to say emotional gut punch, because that's too negative. Like this was that sort of like that sadness
Emotion
that feels
rich.
good. Yeah.
What do you think it was what was it that made you emotional, do you think? Can you put words to it?
Well, that's the thing. I can't really. I haven't been able to. Like I had this like really deep-seated emotional reaction to it, and yet I can't really nail down and articulate what it was about definition. The movie. Yeah.
Do you think? Okay, wait. Do you think it has something to do? Because like the gut punch thing, I can totally relate to. And I know what you mean though, that sounds so negative, but it's like the gut punch is the fact that like this kid's like vision of his dad was shattered. But it's like watching the shattering happen when as adults, we know that dad is a douche. Like to start, we're just like, this dude sucks at life. Like in terms of being a parent or anything like that, you've got this great kid who isn't like a borderline adult by necessity, but obviously still such a kid in the way that he like idolizes his dad, you know, who obviously did something wrong and went away or something like that. And and then you watch the kid's hopes and dreams become shattered. Yeah, but we already knew.
You're just waiting. You're just sitting and wait to watch this kid's heart break. And you know it's coming, but it still sucks.
Yes.
And it's portrayed so well.
Oh yeah.
And that's, I mean, all credit to these actors like that. These kids were fantastic actors. But also all credit to Taika Waititi for getting these performances out of these kids.
Yeah.
He's kind of an amazing kid director. Because like Jojo Rabbit, you know, kids, so good in that. I guess that's really, well, The Hunt for the Wilder People, kind of.
His short film that this kind of like springboarded off of too, it had a younger cast. It was like a two cars one night.
Yeah. Something with cars and night. That's all I could remember. Yeah. I haven't seen that.
I heard that this kid, the main character, was not originally cast. Like, and it was like 3 days before shooting or something like that he got, I mean,
wow.
Which is so cool. He was an extra in the movie.
Yeah. He was incredible.
Yeah,
okay, I mean, I don't know if you guys came across this too, but trivia tidbit early on in the conversation. How about this? James Ralston, the actor who plays Boy, went on to star in a little movie called The Deadlands. Ever heard of it?
No wonder he looks so familiar.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Okay, wait, but also, does that mean that there are only like 10 Maori actors out in the universe, and that we've seen the 2 movies that have made it internationally, or something like that?
First of all, there are 8 Maori actors. No, The Deadlands never really made it internationally. I mean, it wasn't an international hit.
I feel it made it to our film festival, international,
I'll say that. Also, the main actor from Hunt for the Wilder People was in Deadpool 2.
So interestingly, like this movie is 6 years older than Hunt for the Wilder People. And I can see like Hunt for the Wilder People definitely has a bigger budget. I mean, there's like a car chase scene in it, among other things. I think I like Boy better than Hunt for the Wilder People, to be completely honest with you. Like,
it's indie. It's super indie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's not to love?
Has an emotional gut punch.
Mm-hmm. I think it is particularly touching that this was actually filmed in his actual hometown. Like, I love that.
Oh, that's cool.
I love it.
And his grandma's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his real grandma's house.
Yeah, and he punched the wall. What a bad kid.
No, I thought about that. I was like,
rude.
Rude.
I hope his grandma wasn't there.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You guys, this movie made me sad, but, like, I don't know. This movie wasn't tragic to me. It's definitely that emotional gut punch was there, but this movie made me sad in a very similar way to the Florida Project, where it's like these like people kind of trapped in a bad situation, but like you don't feel sorry for them necessarily because they're just living their lives.
Yeah.
But I got such strong Florida Project vibes. I was loving it. Also, another movie with quality kid actors. It was just superb.
Well, and you see their lives, and then you see how beautiful their souls are, and you wish that they had a different life slightly because you wonder what their life could be without. I was so devastated, and it was one of those emotional like switchbacks or like whiplash in your mind, where he got mad at his dad finally and was like, I'm nothing like you, I don't have potential. And it was so like, it was one of those, it plays with you because potential is obviously something that is such a positive outlook and such a positive thing to apply to somebody, and his misunderstanding or confusion of what that word really means now, because of what his dad has become in his eyes, he is, he says that word not realizing what it means and saying, I'm nothing like you, I don't have potential, when really he's the one with so much potential. And his dad is like, whatever potential he had, wasted it being a child, like a man child. But
counterpoint, his dad had a cool car and started an awesome gang. So
correct.
Crazy horses.
It took me so long to realize that on his patch the horse had a muscly arm that was flexing. I didn't realize. I didn't see it until like the end. I was like, oh my god.
Okay, but it was also a motorcycle gang, and none of them had motorcycles.
We did not see a single motorcycle in this movie.
But anyway, yeah, it was definitely Florida Project-esque, because you think, put this kid in a somewhat different scenario, and what could he become? Because he's so beautiful, and he's so, he was so wonderful. I loved him so much.
It's interesting to experience it kind of through Boy's perspective, and then he's kind of an adult in so many ways, but then like one really, I think devastating is too strong of a word, but like uncomfortable and frustrating time. There are multiple times where like his dad kind of plays the adult card, like, because you're a kid, I can treat you this way, and like tell you like, no, that wasn't your goat that we just ran over, like let's get back in the car. I'm trying to think of another one. They're just like very casual things where like the dad gets to control him. I'm not saying this super well.
Like, he had no right to this kid's life, but he still
like his influence
in, and then assumes control.
And the kid just has to go along, but somehow I was like experiencing it as an adult when I'm like, this is not fair and not cool, and why is this happening? And then you're like, he's a kid and he can't do anything about it, except for later when he's like, Dad. I did enjoy that part too.
Put him in his place.
Smacked him across the face, like hard, like
good.
Like, yeah.
It's very like, ugh. It was a slap heard around the world. For me, I was so like satisfied by it.
Totally. All
job,
around.
kid.
The sound, the deservingness of it, just like all around, you're like, yes.
And we have it here, folks. I officially endorse violence.
I know. That I felt it too.
Only if it's cathartic.
Boy developed those crazy horse muscles from
Mm-hmm.
digging all those holes in the field.
The holes, all the holes.
Yeah.
What's the little brother's name again?
Rocky.
I just wanted to like hug Rocky all the time.
No,
I was like,
that sensitive soul.
Yeah.
Oh man, speaking of like being emotionally wrecked, like towards the end of the movie when he roller skates into his dad and like tries to comfort him with his powers and then says, "Sorry for killing mom." Just like, like I just
what a weight to carry around. Like,
yeah.
thinking
Yeah. You can tell he carries it by
So one of the marks of I feel like a good movie for me is how many times I have to pause it before I can get through it. And boy, oh boy, did I have to pause it at the Michael Jackson dance scene. It took me about 10 minutes of like, okay, breathe. Okay, you can do it. It's just dancing. I'm like, nope. I will say also, God, that kid and his deadpan delivery, I don't know how he did it. I would have died.
Good.
Oh, it was very good.
It was so good.
Speaking of Michael Jackson dance moves, the end credits thriller haka, like I could watch that shit on loop for the rest of my life.
It was great.
That was amazing.
That was one of my main likes.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And my theory is that Taika Waititi was like, how can I craft a movie where I get to do all these Michael Jackson dances? And then he builds this around that.
Yeah. Hey, okay, so kind of speaking of that, I really, really liked how when they did kind of like show things through Boy's perspective and, they had his imaginings of what was going on. I loved every scene that had like him dancing at Billie Jean. The bar fight was West Side Story, right? Where they like chain their hands together, do a knife fight. Yes.
I mean, it looked West Side Story-ish, but I think it was wasn't it a Michael Jackson song?
Beat It.
Was it Beat It? Yeah.
No, well, I meant, but the choreography. That part was.
I don't know.
I've never seen West Side Story.
Me neither.
But tell us about it, Morgan.
Yes. Let me tell you all. Actually, I could probably tell you a lot about it.
Morgan, you are at risk of becoming very Clayton-esque with all of these cultural references that you have no background in.
Okay, no. West Side Story is just a full cultural reference. Like everyone knows the Jets and the Sharks.
Sure. Just like the Lion King that Clayton's never seen. I mean, I'm just saying.
You know what? It's more likely that Clayton has seen West Side Story than he has than Lion King, in my mind.
Well, I mean, it's not actually the case. I have seen Lion King and I have not seen West Side Story.
But you only saw Lion King because of me.
Yes, yeah. But I see where you're going with that, and I appreciate it.
But I like musicals. Okay, I've seen parts of West Side Story, and I'm pretty sure that this is from West Side Story, Sue.
Sure.
Let's research this ASAP.
We said that I could bully, not the other way around. No, but anyway, I'm pretty sure that is just straight up a reference to West Side Story. Even if it's set to
Beat It.
Michael Jackson. Yeah. It was the part where he pulls out his machete versus the guy's like Bowie knife was very funny. I was not expecting it, even though I feel like I should have. It was well done. Just a good joke. And then sorry. No one gets to talk other than me, but bouncing off of that, the illustrations that were kind of like Rocky's perspective too, I really, really liked. It was so well done.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say too. The little colored pencil drawings.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one where they are watching their dad finally go to the mom's grave, and then there's that drawing where like the dad kind of floats over the grave and it's just like all tears raining down. A bunch of like really powerful moments through those drawings.
Yeah, they did a really good job of like perspective of like having these visions of perspective for, you know, the two kids.
Of telling the story so you see it through the eyes of the boys. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, the story is just so well told. And that's, going back to, the emotional gut punch of it. That doesn't happen with a story that's told poorly. Going back to, what was it? Sue, I think you were mentioning something. Potential. Like, that just popped the way that is introduced, then pops up a couple different times throughout the movie. Like it's woven throughout the fabric of the story. It's like, I just love that. Like, it's just the writing is so good. Like, in this story, like everything ties together neatly, tightly, comes full circle.
And it has that like fleeting / everything has a place, but it's not sure where that place is kind of quality, like it like childhood memories and childhood growth and things like that. It's like there are real tangible things that belong places, but they're not settled. And so all of these things can be explained by something fantastic, fantastical, I guess. When in reality, they could be rooted in something very real and very, an example of where I question how much of this is boy's like complete imagination and how much of this is rooted in truth. It was where the dad like broke out of jail with a spoon, and then like fought off the guards with a spoon.
So you were questioning whether or not that was factual?
No.
Whether or not that really happened? Because I think I can answer that question for you, Sue.
No, but what I mean is, so then later on, you see that spoon, not that same one, but a spoon being used to start the car by the dad, right? Later on, you see that spoon be used as a screwdriver for the doorknobs, right? And so
good one, Sue.
Yeah, no, and so like, but that's like the potential thing, like you're talking about, Clayton, where it's like, it just is so innocently dropped into somebody's life and brain. But like a child, without knowing exactly what it is and where it goes, you just start inserting it in all sorts of different places until it like lands somewhere. And so that spoon thing to me was a little bit like that, where it was just like, it showed up all over the place with this multi-use functionality. And I'm like, okay, how much of the dad's jailbreak thing with a spoon is actually, I don't think that the dad, like, but how much of his memory of his dad is rooted in like a spoon and what his dad may have done with that as a, so then he imagines that that's the tool that he uses to like break out of jail and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I love that. It was just real tangible mixed with whimsy, and it was just constantly having that little dialogue with itself,
That was good. I can't tie this in anywhere, but I really love the auntie character who has all the jobs in town, and he's always like, Auntie, what does he call the popsicle?
Ice block.
Can I have an ice block? Yeah.
Ice block? And she's like, no.
The
no sign all the way through.
You need to get a job. It's like, I can't. You took all of it.
Yeah.
My favorite part is absolutely when he slid in. She held up the sign no, and he pulled out his yes sign. So good.
Just so good.
Adorable and hilarious. So, I'm curious what you guys thought of the ending. Like, when they, after, spoilers, I guess, Boy tells Rocky that his dad went to Japan to train as a samurai, and they get to the grave, and he's there. I found myself wondering if he stayed after that. And there's nothing in the movie after that point to suggest one way or another, but I want to know what you guys thought.
The Michael Jackson dance. suggested that he stayed.
I think it's not, for me, it's very like tinged with reality. Like they show up and he's there. So I feel like he's still going to be in their lives, but I don't feel like he's going to be
any better.
Any better. Like he'll show up. I just felt like one of these times that he shows up, they see him at the grave, but that he's not going to be a consistent presence. And that's just my like pessimism that I put on it, but that's what I felt at the end.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, nothing in the movie gives us any indication that, or gives us any hint or any real hope that this guy has changed at all. Like that anything
except
has
that
happened.
He did make it inside the graveyard this time. That was growth for him.
True. Yeah.
So I didn't feel like the dad was going to leave again because he didn't really have a means. I mean, he left the first time because he went to jail, presumably. And then I don't know like how long it took him to get back, but then he shows back up to look for the cash that was presumably going to take him somewhere far, far, far away. And
or buy him a motorcycle at least. Or
something, achieve all of his gang dreams, you know. But when that, you know, dream disappeared, then that was all his motivation is to come back, find the money, and then go do something dramatic with his life. Well, you know, and the kind of connection that he made with Boy at the end, where, you know, Rocky still being so young is still buying into the stories. Obviously, how was your trip to Japan? So cute. But I just love that they like push out the last word or sound, you know. I want to see my dance moves. How was your trip to Japan? You know. But anyway, so Rocky's still in that time that Boy spent for the whole time his dad was gone, is that like fantasy world of like where his dad at, what his dad is. And then they make eye contact, Boy and his dad, where it's like it's obviously he didn't go to Japan. And Alamain's eyes are red because he's coming to terms in some way, shape, or form with his love's death, you know, and he's been gone the whole time and all that. And he wasn't there for when she died. And so like he's beginning his like journey of mourning for real and not running away from it. And so I think that he's gonna stay.
I was the way I kind of took it is, well, like where like I do think it didn't give any indication one way or another that was purposeful or whatever, but like I just like solely emotionally I wanted him to stay because that's what his boys wanted, but also I wanted him out of their lives because it's probably better for them. And so I could not go one way or another like by the end of it, because it's just like, oh man, how tough. What a tough situation. But anyway, that's why I was curious, because it's just, there's so much, it's not even just like nuance, but there's so much potential for things to go one way or another that it's, I don't know, it parts of me wants to be frustrated because I don't like ambiguous endings, but another part just feels like that was just so appropriately done that it's like I couldn't change it, couldn't be mad at it, couldn't change it.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it was just like hanging like a piece of bait over your head or something like that on purpose just to be jerks.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna start with Morgan. Morgan, would you select this feature film, Boy, from New Zealand, 2010, directed by Taika Waititi, to be a selection of the Sagebrush Hills Film Festival?
Yes. I've been thinking that would be very funny if I just said yes and moved on. And done.
Be very out of character, yes.
Whatever. I have been thinking about where I think we would screen it, where it would best be screened. And my heart, for whatever reason, says flagship, but big asterisk, because I feel like we cannot do it the flagship after doing Captain Fantastic, which is another, then not quite a coming of age story like this, but like the family dynamic films, like back to back. I would want a buffer between them at the very least.
Maybe the buffer is coronavirus.
That's fair.
A full year or 2 years.
Well, yeah.
Question, point of order here. When you are saying flagship, do you mean opening night silver screen gala? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I would, and then it doesn't quite fit in with X, and I could see it at Glenwood. But I would want it somewhere bigger. This is definitely like a movie that like I want to share with as many people as possible. So
I would say yes, and I feel like Morgan's summary is a very good one. I feel like it could fit almost anywhere, but I like that idea of it's a fun one to just share with everyone. It would be a good flagship, I think. Red carpet gala, but I like it for lots of venues.
I would love it at the Silver Screen Gala. I wouldn't have thought of the Captain Fantastic thing, but actually that's a good point in that, like, we had 71, we had Nirja, then we had
Purple Dreams.
Purple Dreams. Oh, so good. Captain Fantastic. So we're changing the tide of what the red carpet party means. I think for the better, which is why I totally think this belongs there. It's just enough gut punch, just enough feel good, just enough funny. But that being said, I would like something more like actiony and loud as
spectacle.
More spectacle.
I see. The Greatest Showman is our next silver screen.
I was thinking Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Totally. All of those are great ideas. Before we do another like heart-wrenching feel good. But I mean, or not. I don't know. I mean, like you said, Rachel, coronavirus. I mean, we had a whole year off. We get a year off to, so I don't know. But I think it can go anywhere.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying with some like thematic and aesthetic similarities. I think I see the aesthetic similarities more than the thematic similarities between this movie and Captain Fantastic.
You dug your own grave there.
Just because they're both like green, foresty. Hence the aesthetic similarities.
They're trees.
Yeah, they both have at least one tree in them. So basically interchangeable in my opinion. But no, I don't think that the similarities are so strong that it would feel like more of the same. To show this after Captain Fantastic. I do feel like this is, first of all, yes, I absolutely would show this at our film festival. I feel like it's a gimme for Glenwood on Sunday because that has historically been our coming of age movie place. And I don't know about y'all, but I think I can safely say that we as a group are kind of suckers for coming of age movies.
What? They're good movies.
Yeah. Oh, it's
the best genre.
I'm there with you. I mean, a good coming of age movie is fantastic. I love them.
That's another coming of age film.
It is. She has a point.
Touche.
Guess we've all just got to say goodnight.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.